All right, good morning, everyone. 48 First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke with you. Happy Tuesday, happy April. Welcome to Weather Extra. They've got me in back here again, give me all kind of fancy buttons to push, but hope you had a good day yesterday. After all the strong to severe storms we had, a little bit of wind out there, some large hail, and a lot of heavy rainfall. Well, the flooding threat has diminished significantly. Obviously, maybe a few roads that don't drain well could have a little bit of water on them, but shaping up to be a good day. Maybe came as a little shock to the system here this morning, and that was the cool start we had. Some of you in our western counties, down in Coleman County, DeKalb County, for example, you did drop into the upper 30s. Not long enough to see any frost developing, but that is maybe a concern that we have as we go into the early part of next week. But for today, beautiful start to the month of April. You see Gunnersville there on the right-hand side of your phone, your tablet, however you're watching us online. Just a great day. Had some clouds this morning, but those clouds have already filtered out. We'll see plenty of that April sunshine. Now, our warming today will be far more gradual. A lot of that just has to do with the cloud cover we had this morning, but also where our temperatures started off. We started off right there in the upper 30s to mid 40s, but great day incoming. We've got some crazy warmth to talk about. And April, just like we saw in March, had a couple 80-degree days, but these are our forecast highs, not for today. Today will be in the upper 60s to low 70s, but if you look at your forecast high for Wednesday, April 2nd, Thursday the 3rd, and Friday the 4th, we've got temperatures forecast 85, 85, 87, and then you go down to the record there on the lower part of each blue box. 86 is the record high, and that one's been around for a while, dating back to 1963. And I think tomorrow, out of all the days, that is potentially the day that we actually tie or break the high temperature record. I know we're forecasting 85, but that's based on the cloud cover sticking around. Some of the models are hinting at some clearing of the clouds. That means more of that sunshine. Now, the winds tomorrow will be a little bit annoying, but still 85 for April 2nd is pretty impressive. 85 there on Thursday. That record is 88 degrees, set back in 1999, and then also 89 set back in 1969 for your Friday. So tomorrow, I think, is the day if we have a chance to break any of those records. Some of them have been around for a while. Go outside, check a few thermometers. 52 in Albertville, Marshall County. Good morning to you. 54 in Scottsboro. We've got 50 there in Moulton, 51 in the Shoals, and 48, still a touch on the cool side, up there in Lawrenceburg. Nothing we can do about this. All that rainfall that we saw yesterday, some of you saw 2 inches of rain with the strong to severe storms we had coming through yesterday morning. And also we had some rain over the weekend, but the pollen, the best way to clear it out of the air is rainfall. And we saw that, probably see it on your driveway, the sidewalks, just some of those green puddles. Well, that's all that pollen coming out, and it's just that tree pollen for your oak, ash, and juniper. The grass pollen is going to start to become more and more of a problem as we go through the next couple of days, even weeks. Things are starting to green up a bit. I think I have to do the maiden mow of 2025 for the spring season sometime this weekend. Is the Bermuda grass. It's dormant now, but you can see some parts it's starting to green up a bit. So add that to the weekend chores list, unfortunately. It is going to be an okay weekend, too. For the day today, here's your 12-hour planner. Just simply the morning clouds we have filtering out. By the noon hour, we're probably mostly sunny just about everywhere. Temperatures will eventually reach the upper 60s to low 70s. Nice breeze today, east to southeasterly, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, maybe a gust up to 12. Overnight tonight, increase in cloud cover. That breeze that I mentioned, that's going to play a big role on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, that southwesterly wind starts to pick up, and that will keep temperatures a lot warmer. There's actually a good chance that many of you tomorrow morning will be starting off in the 60s. So today you might have grabbed the heavier coat. I grabbed the puffy coat myself. Tomorrow might be a jacket optional type morning, near record warmth, potential record-breaking warmth, but we've got the gusts in 25 to 40 miles per hour. Now, at least we have a little bit of humidity for your Wednesday. If it was a very dry day like we have today with those gusty winds, our fire danger would be very elevated, if not even maybe close to red flag warning criteria. That's up to the Weather Service, but wildfire season is upon us. Maybe you smell it from time to time. I know on Friday, Brad had a great look, unfortunately, from one of our cameras at that fire we had out in Athens, right next to the old radar site. 85 on Tuesday. Now, tomorrow, I think we just see a few isolated showers. That's about it. By Thursday, maybe a chance at a stronger storm or two. We have what we call a conditional threat of storms, and we're going to talk about that here in 1 second. But let's go through the rest of the day. Couple high clouds, a little wispy cirrus, kind of just those ice clouds hanging out there. But temperatures continue to warm. We're in the low to mid 70s before you know it. No weather-related concerns for that evening commute, and still very mild this evening in the low to mid 60s. So a nice night to maybe fire up the grill for dinner, have a bonfire going. I know it's a Tuesday, a school night, but if you've got the time and the kids are interested, why not? Here's tomorrow morning. Waking up mostly cloudy. I think this model is a little warm on the temperatures, but we very well could see at least a low to mid 60s for morning lows, and then a chance of a few isolated showers coming in. And here's some of that clearing that I was talking about tomorrow that would just aid in our warming. So this is that conditional threat of severe weather, and you're probably saying, well, what is a conditional threat? This is for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and basically the setup that they have for potential strong to severe storms is a stationary front. So there's just going to be this boundary, and it's stationary. Obviously, it's not going to move, so it's just going to kind of hover over that area in red. We've got severe weather all the way up into parts of Illinois, into the Great Lakes, a good portion of the Ohio River Valley, into the Mississippi River Valley, so places like Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, even parts of West Tennessee fall in that area, and the highest likelihood of actually seeing severe storms. What we have on top of us is kind of a little ridge of high pressure. It's not the strongest ridge of high pressure, but basically what that conditional threat means is we have all the ingredients in play to support the severe storms. That being, we've got instability, we've got moisture with those high dew points in the 60s, and we've got some lift in the atmosphere. The one thing we're lacking, and it always takes this one thing, is a trigger, basically, and that's the spark we need to actually ignite those storms to get them going. And if we do see storms, I really think it would be areas along and west of I-65 and into parts of Middle Tennessee. But with that boundary staying to our west, and we've got the ridge, the weak ridge of high pressure, I think any storms we see are very, very isolated, especially for Wednesday. Now into Thursday and Friday, those western areas might see a stronger storm or two. The conditional threat, more or less, is we've got what we need. We don't have the one thing we're missing, but if we do get a storm developing, it can become strong to severe. Of course, if we see anything on the model data, you can watch any of our newscasts, the 48 Weather app right here on Weather Extra. We will let you know if there is any concern or indication that we might see some of these strong to severe storms. But I think tomorrow, just a few isolated showers. Thursday, Friday, we'll be watching that radar pretty closely. But this conditional threat we see sometimes. Look at the heavy rain threat, and I mentioned that stationary front. That's exactly where that stationary front is going to be. You've got places like Louisville, Kentucky, forecasting 10 inches of rainfall here with this model run. I believe this is the European model, but a good swath of those areas seeing 4 to 8 inches of rain. There's probably some outliers. So it's not just a severe weather threat for these locations. It's also going to be the threat for flash flooding or even widespread flooding concerns. Creeks, streams, rivers will be running on the high side. And then you go here to Huntsville. That's the one plot we have on the map. And we're forecasting a generous inch of rain, and this is all the way through Sunday, and I think that 1 inch of rain that this model is factoring in is going to come in Saturday night into Sunday. So that's when we have a stronger front coming in, and that will bring a pretty abrupt temperature drop between Saturday's mid-80s. Sunday we're looking at mid to upper 60s. Here's another look at your Wednesday. This is the windy day. Little bit of clearing showing up here as we go through late morning into the afternoon. Afternoon temperatures perfect for a picnic there in the low to mid 70s if you hold on to your picnic items, because we'll have those strong winds. Now by tomorrow late afternoon, evening, there go those storms firing up out toward the Memphis metro area, into parts of western Tennessee, western Kentucky, into the boot heel of Missouri, maybe into that Ohio River Valley. But that's where the boundary is located, and that's where the storms will fire up. Not saying we don't see any storms whatsoever, but that's likely where they're going to be located because we do have that ridge of high pressure. Here's Thursday afternoon. storms in the same spot. That's where that heavy rain and flooding threat comes in. But this is basically a 3-day flooding severe weather event. And now we go Thursday evening into some of those longer term models here. And that's where we still have those storms developing off to our west and northwest. And I'm okay with this setup because we get to enjoy the warmth and we don't really have to worry about those strong to severe storms. But by Friday afternoon, evening, I think that stationary boundary starts to move a little bit and we could see some storms popping up by Friday afternoon. You go to the big picture here across the lower 48. Yes, that is snow out there in parts of the eastern Dakotas, into Minnesota, parts of Iowa, even heading into Wisconsin. This forecast always reminds me of when I lived. My first TV job was in Rapid City, South Dakota, there in the beautiful Black Hills. But we would get these really warm days, and you're like, okay, it's finally spring. We're done with winter, which was a very long winter there with, many snow events. And then it'd warm up, and then a couple weeks later, you're getting snow again, and you're like, oh, I thought we were done with that. But that's how it works. That's the end of March and into early April. But look at the sunshine we have across the southeast U.S., and that's pretty much what we're dealing with tonight. Increasing clouds. You'll notice that wind starting to pick up out of the south and west. Gust overnight maybe 15 miles per hour, occasional gust to 20, but that should eliminate any potential for fog. We go to Wednesday. Look how warm we are, but also this is showing the cloud cover that we have. And if you look at the winds, that is a sustained wind. Those aren't gusts. That's a sustained wind, about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures in the mid-80s, that near record warmth, but those gusts will be about 25 to maybe 45 miles per hour. So we're very close to wind advisory criteria. Check out all those mid-80s. Again, no April Fool's joke, no typos there. That is the forecast. 85, 85, 87. Friday, probably our best chance of maybe some of those conditional storms developing through the afternoon and evening. And then into the weekend, too. We've got 85 on Saturday. A good portion of Saturday does look dry until we start to see that cold front eventually approaching. That brings us some rain and storms coming in Saturday evening, overnight, and through a good portion of the day Sunday. Notice that temperature drop too. Now waking up on Monday morning of next week, looks like we're at 43. Some of the sheltered areas, the higher elevations of northeast Alabama towards Sand Mountain, you might have some frost concern. Again, that is strictly dependent on how much wind we see. If we have the calm winds, a little bit more of a likelihood of frost. That's why we always tell you wait until tax day, April 15th, to plant anything in the yard, the garden. I know these warm weekends that we've had lately, you want to be out there. And then 58, that's the best we can do. That's your high there on Monday before we're right back near average in the upper 60s to low 70s. So pretty uneventful day today. Temperatures will be warm in the upper 60s, low 70s. Enjoy the sunshine. Wind picking up tomorrow, but a stretch of near record high temperatures for the rest of the work and school week. And of course, watching those chances for storms, although that activity should stay to our west and northwest, at least based off the latest guidance. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed Weather Extra here on this Tuesday. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Join me on Tennessee Valley Living, as well as your newscast at noon with Gina Benitez. So Chelsea Aaron will be filling in for Brad tonight, and she'll have the evening edition of Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. Have a great day. Thanks for joining.